So we went to NYSUM in New York City and did a 6-week internship. And on one of our days off, we both hung out with a mutual friend. But that was the day where we really became friends and really got to know each other. And I realized that, wow, this is like a really cool girl.
It's kind of like our eyes open, like, wow, you've been here the whole time. Like, how have I not seen you or noticed you before? Arizona tea was kind of like our mutual interest, like love. We just loved Arizona tea. So I started getting him Arizona teas when I would be at work. And I would always tell myself, I'm getting this tea because Joel likes it, not because I like Joel. And that was kind of my like excuse. So I would text him and tell him to come get the tea, but secretly I just wanted to see him. And so then Christmas break of senior year, I was basically by myself on campus. And so Joel, being the nice man that he is,
out of the goodness of my heart,
he texted me and he's like, you should come over to my house to watch a movie. And we had not talked about like any interest in each other or anything. And so I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll definitely come over and watch a movie. So I come over to his house, and to my shock, there's no one else there except his entire family. And then we watch a movie by ourselves. We watch Mary Poppins, and it was actually that moment that I realized it was like the heavens opened and like, like there was Joel, and I was just like, wow, like I really do like him, and he is really great and amazing. And I knew that he must have thought something highly of me to invite me over like that, because he had never done that before to any other girl. It was very evident that like we needed to talk.
And so she texted me one day and said, we need to have a talk. And Kelly walked up and sat down, and we just looked at each other for a few seconds. And Kelly said, so, what are your intentions? So I told her my intentions. I said, I really like you and I want to pursue a relationship with you, but I also feel that if we start dating right away, that we're just going to be really distracted from these mission trips that we were about to go on.
We both signed a thing saying that we would remain single throughout the entirety of our trips. And so when we signed that, we really wanted to honor that, and not just with like the label of boyfriend and girlfriend, but with the heart. We really wanted our hearts to be single also. The Lord like led me to start writing Joel letters. It was like very intimate between me and God. And so it was like basically a year and a half of me just pouring my heart out to what I thought was the Lord, but it was actually to Joel, and just telling my feelings and how my thought process. And at the end of that, I was able to give him all of those letters. It was really amazing how, even though I wasn't around Joel, I was able to fall in love with him through like God just like working on my heart. I remember sitting on Lake Malawi in Africa, and I just remember feeling this feeling of, wow, like my life is so cool right now, but I really wish Joel was here to share this with me. And I realized just like in that moment that I was just in love with him. Like I just knew.
And I had my kind of similar moment on my trip too. I just really started to seek God about, like, is this for real? Is this is marriage with Kelly something I'm gonna pursue? Which, if you think about it, it's a little crazy, because we still at this point hadn't gone on like an official date. We weren't officially boyfriend and girlfriend yet. But I was already thinking about marriage, and I just went for a walk around the city, and it was nighttime, and there was about 7 stars up in the sky, which was probably the most I'd seen the whole time I was there. And from that moment on, I just knew that Kelly was the one I was gonna marry, and I was completely committed to that. We got back home actually the same day. I asked her to be my girlfriend.
We had been anticipating this first date for so long.
It's a long time coming.
And he had written me a song, and he played it for me, and it's the most beautiful song I've ever heard. It's my favorite. And we walked along the
Erie Canal.
The Erie Canal.
And we were lying out under the grass under the stars, just watching the shooting stars, and like we both made wishes, and Kelly wouldn't tell me what hers was, and then I told her that I loved her, and that was my wish, that I could tell her that. But her wish was that I would hold her hand.
That would He would hold my hand. I just want him to hold my hand.
So when I was planning to propose to Kelly, I wanted it to be something very heartfelt, something very personal, something that it really represented something, and not just to blow her away with something that was amazing. And so what I ended up doing was I decorated this cabin on the inside. I set up some candles and some mood lighting, and I had a single rose in the middle of the table.
We come to this cabin here, and he opens the door, and I'm just shocked because it's so beautiful inside. There are rose petals all over the table, and there's candles lit, and the stove is burning, so it's really warm and cozy. And there's a single red rose on the table. And I had told him previously that I had like dreamt of whenever I got engaged that my husband would propose with a red rose. And so I kind of got, really excited because I saw that single red rose. And we sat down and we ate sushi, which is one of my favorite foods that he had gotten for me. And he takes me over and he sits me down at this chair, and he brings over this big bucket of water, and he kneels down and he starts to wash my feet, and he just tells me that he wants to serve me for the rest of my life, and he wants to just be the husband to me that Jesus is to the church, and just how Jesus lays his life down for the church, he wants to lay his life down for me. It was just such a perfect moment. I was just overwhelmed with really the love of God, and just really feeling that so blessed that I was going to say yes to this man that willingly wants to lay his life down for me and is asking if I would want him to lay his life down for me. Like, it was such an amazing moment. Then the awkward moment that always happens comes. He pulled out the ring upside down and fell on the floor, and it was perfect because if something wasn't awkward, it wouldn't have been perfect for us. And so I started tearing up, and it was just so perfect, and such an example of who Joel has always been to me. Is just that patient, servant-hearted man who just like constantly shows me Jesus.
Yeah, and Kelly really has been the woman of my dreams. She pushes me beyond what I think my limits are. She makes me stronger in my strengths and encourages me to step out in my weaknesses, whether that's, dancing at weddings or whatever, because that always makes me feel very nervous. But she just makes me a better man, and I just love her with all my heart.
Mm-hmm.